The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
So right now we say hello to Scott Jones. How are you there, Scotty?
Good morning. You take umbrage. You did say this was the spring show.
Yeah,
right?
well, it's the early spring.
Earlier this week.
Early
Earlier this week we had a little bit of
shovel this morning.
A little bit of snow. But here's what I know, Tom. Folks that are in the collision business.
Oh, they like snow.
A little ding here or there maybe
No.
drives a little more traffic. Just saying.
You don't take pleasure in other people's misfortune.
We're just here when you need us. That's all. That's all.
That's a good
just
way
like
to
a doctor,
put it.
attorney. We're here when you need us.
Well, we've had you on a couple of times, but of course we have different audiences because once people listen at least one time, they never come back. So it's a new audience each time. Why don't you tell people your history, how you got into this business, collision business?
Yeah, auto body. So, that wasn't my dream as a kid, but went to college. I was a straight A student for a while and unfortunately majored in fraternity. And Dad said, come home. So I'd worked a couple summers for my uncle in the body shop and ended up working at his shop. And the rest is history. I kind of fell in love with the business, and he and I grew it together as partners for many, many, many years until he retired in 18.
Right. So how many Northside collisions are there out there?
So there's currently 9, and God willing, maybe some more.
Okay. And that's important because collision businesses should be close to people. Is that why you have so many?
Yeah, we learned years ago that we had the one big store in Cicero, and we couldn't grow it. And we started, kind of drew circles around it to determine where our customers were coming from, and it's about a 5-mile radius. So we've learned that you've got to be within about 5 miles of your customers.
Yeah. Something that I hear a lot of people complain about after they get in an accident, aside from my car's wrecked, is, that the collision company will say, hey, look, we don't know when we can get you in, and it's going to be 6 weeks before we can get the scranadle that plugs into the doohickey. Yes. So, how do you guys manage that and the expectations?
So it is tough. This post-COVID era, parts are more challenging to get. It would be nice to actually see some more manufacturing in the U.S. because it would be a lot easier, like it was back in the day, to get parts.
Right.
So much of it is shipped from overseas these days that it does cause a lot of delays. We schedule pretty tightly, though. We get you on the calendar. We've got a pretty good idea how long it's going to take. But we do add some fudge factor just because parts are such a challenge. We work with every major insurance company. They all refer to us because they trust us. They know we'll do a good job. We give the customer service numbers they're looking for. But there's some delays there sometimes too in gaining approvals. So it is, it's not an exact science. Every crash is different.
So with all those locations, if Cicero is busy, could Camillus fix the car? If Camillus is busy, do you do some of that to lighten the load or be able to get things out quicker? Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah, and we'll call the customer and say, look, we're jammed up in this particular store. We're going to move you to our sister store over here. We'll put it on a flatbed, tow it over, get the job done, then bring it back to that original store for delivery. Yeah, all the time. That's one of the advantages we have over the competition is cars don't just stack up. We move them around to make sure they get moved on.
How about rental cars? Because that's important for people to have a vehicle to drive while it's getting fixed. Do you take care of all that?
We do. I mean, look, you come in, and people are blown away. They assume they have to get an estimate, and no, you come in.
Seriously, you don't need to get an estimate.
You do not. No.
Okay.
Again, because we're attached to every major insurance company, you drop the car with us. We put you in one of our cars for free, or schedule a rental car right there on the spot for you. The rental folks show up, or we put you in one of our cars, send you on your way. That's it. We handle it from there. We deal with the insurance company, handle everything soup to nuts until the car's done.
What would you say to someone that said, well, hey, I got the car at that Toyota or that Ford dealer. I should take you back there. How do you adjust the thinking on that, or how's that work?
We're specialists. That's all we do. We repair cars. We spend more in a month in training than every dealership probably in Syracuse, New York does it in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we spend hundreds of thousands.
That's a bold statement.
I'm telling you, we spend, and I know this because we deal with the national players that provide the training, and they're like, you have some of the best trained people in the country. We got one guy that's taken every single class, hundreds of classes for iCar. He's the only one in the country who's done it.
Oh my goodness!
About to get a national
What's
award for
iCar?
it. It's a auto body. It's kind of the standard of the auto body industry.
Oh, okay.
It's the key training venue, if you will.
Now, you said something about having a school last time within your organization.
Yeah, I'd love
for
to talk
training.
about that. So it's huge. After COVID, we reopened, of course, and one of the stores I made a school. I took a couple of my guys that were thinking about retirement, twisted their arms, got them to stick around to be teachers, and we've now graduated a couple, 2-3 classes of young people. There are young people that really want to work, and we bring them in. They sign a 3-year deal, and they spend 1 year in that school learning the trade.
So it's like an employment agreement, like they
Yes.
do with nurses at schools. Hey, if we're going to train you,
Yep.
stick around a little while. We've invested in
Yes.
you, and we want to use you the way we trained you too. Right?
So it's not a school that people can attend and then go work at a different body shop.
No.
It's for you.
No.
Is that a no?
That's a no. No, but I tell you, it's it's really exciting because you got college kids that are baristas. They've got $50,000 in debt, and they're
50 if they're lucky, right? Yeah.
And I got kids. I got people in the body business making 100, 150, 200 grand a year repairing cars.
Crazy.
I mean, there's so much money for skilled craftsmen in this industry.
How would someone step in if they had a child or a grandchild, or maybe they're listening? How would they have that conversation? Is it with you, or is it with online, or how do they start that
You
conversation?
can hop online, go right to our website. There's an employment application right there. And just, hey, I want to be an apprentice in your program. And Yves Pierre-Louis is the guy that does all the interviewing for us.
Yes.
He will interview you. We just hired another one. I think he starts next week. A real sharp young man.
Oh, wow.
And we got some gals, some ladies that are dynamite technicians as well.
Yeah, and sometimes women are just a little more meticulous on the creative side,
That's
right?
true.
And,
That is, yeah.
with upholstery and things like that.
Yeah.
Well,
You
and
say
that's
so.
Scott.
it's
That's Scott Jones right there. He's the owner of Northside Collision. Scott, thank you so
Thanks,
much
guys.
for showing
Appreciate
up
the
today.
time. Fun.